Imagine walking down the steps of a gritty New York City subway station, navigating the chaotic rush hour crowd, only to look over and find an international, multi-platinum pop star casually leaning against the railing to explain why your last devastating heartbreak was actually a massive cause for celebration. That is the exact, unscripted reality that just played out for thousands of scrolling internet users. Over the last 48 hours, the digital landscape has been completely dominated by a fast-paced, highly charismatic appearance by Jennifer Lopez on the viral street interview show Subway Takes, hosted by comedian Kareem Rama. The 56-year-old entertainer didn't show up in a sterile, heavily guarded studio to deliver tightly managed, public relations-approved answers about her personal life. Instead, standing amidst the raw energy of the transit system, Lopez threw out the traditional Hollywood script on romance and delivered a blistering, unapologetic take on the end of relationships that has set social media completely ablaze. With absolute conviction, the global icon looked directly into the camera and insisted that society has the entire concept of heartbreak completely backward, arguing that we should actively be throwing massive parties the exact moment a relationship falls apart. According to her new worldview, when someone announces a split, the immediate human response shouldn't be a look of deep pity or a hushed apology. People should be throwing up their hands, smiling, and shouting congratulations, because making the hard choice to walk away means you have officially taken control of your own destiny. The mechanics of her viral declaration dive deeply into a philosophy of radical self-growth, completely flipping the script on who actually wins and loses when a high-profile romance reaches its expiration date. During the rapid-fire exchange, Lopez explained that a breakup should never be categorized as a failure. Instead, it serves as the ultimate, high-powered launchpad into an individual's next best self. In a moment that has already been clipped and shared millions of times across TikTok and X, she went a step further, mapping out a fascinating psychological framework where the person being broken up with is actually the undisputed winner of the situation. She noted that the individuals who spend their entire lives casually breaking hearts, floating from one partner to the next while refusing to ever look inward or feel the true weight of the devastation, are the ultimate losers of the human experience because they remain entirely stunted, never learning a single lesson. For Lopez, real, transformative life progress is forged exclusively in the fires of deep emotional pain. She candidly admitted that the absolute biggest growth spurts she has ever experienced emotionally, mentally, and psychologically have come directly from moments of profound heartbreak, clarifying that this rule applies to devastating professional setbacks and public creative failures just as much as it does to romantic divorces. It is the one specific time in life where a person is forced to dig beneath the surface, confront the ugly patterns, and fundamentally alter their internal architecture to survive. The digital response to this sudden philosophical download has been an absolute juggernaut, splitting the internet into a fierce, highly animated debate over the last 72 hours. On one side of the feed, fan networks and lifestyle creators are universally praising her words, turning her launchpad quote into a definitive anthem for independent women navigating the modern dating scene. Comment sections are overflowing with appreciation for her willingness to speak with such raw, unfiltered clarity, highlighting how refreshing it is to see a woman who has endured some of the most hyper-visible public divorces in pop culture history refuse to adopt the persona of a broken, tragic victim. Concurrently, a parallel, highly cynical conversation has taken over the major entertainment subreddits, with users meticulously connecting her bold statements to her recent real-world history, specifically her finalized 2025 divorce from Hollywood actor Ben Affleck. This intense focus on her personal life follows hot on the heels of another massive viral moment from just over a week ago, where eagle-eyed concertgoers filmed Lopez at an Ariana Grande Stadium show in Los Angeles, enthusiastically waving her hands and singing along at the top of her lungs to the definitive moving on anthem, "Thank You, Next." The fact that she was enjoying that specific breakup track while standing directly alongside her own child Oscar and Ben Affleck's teenager, Finn Affleck, drove fans into a frenzy of speculation, with internet observers endlessly debating whether her recent behavior represents a subtle, ongoing public relations campaign designed to showcase a flawlessly amicable, post-divorce blended family dynamic. When you analyze why the specific Subway interview has escalated so rapidly in the public consciousness, it becomes blindingly obvious that it serves as a fascinating case study in how top-tier Hollywood royalty must adapt to survive the rules of modern influencer culture. We live in an entertainment ecosystem where traditional, old-school celebrity mystique has been almost entirely wiped out by the demands of short-form digital content. Audiences no longer respect or connect with a hyper-polished, distant superstar who only speaks through formal publicists or glossy magazine covers. The contemporary internet demands total proximity, absolute vulnerability, and a willingness to step down from the ivory tower to engage with the trends of the everyday scroller. By choosing to promote her brand new Netflix romantic comedy Office Romance, co-starring Brett Goldstein and Edward James Olmos, through a raw street interview format rather than a standard, repetitive late-night talk show couch circuit, Lopez has executed a brilliant marketing pivot. She is leveraging the organic, casual aesthetics of the internet to reframe her public image, shifting her reputation from a heavily scrutinized, tabloid-battered figure into a wise, deeply relatable, and fiercely independent older sister who can laugh at her own scars while offering hard-earned wisdom to the next generation. Furthermore, this situation sheds a highly analytical light on how the definition of personal failure has been completely rewritten in the hyper-visible arena of contemporary fame. For decades, a celebrity going through multiple high-profile splits or divorces was treated by the mainstream media as a source of profound mockery and professional damage, an unshakable narrative stain suggesting an inability to maintain stability. But in the current digital landscape, where transparency and the constant pursuit of self-actualization are valued above all else, Lopez is actively transforming her extensive relationship history into her ultimate asset. She isn't hiding from her past marriages. She is weaponizing them as proof of her resilience, positioning herself as an expert in the art of the emotional comeback. It shows an immense level of secure, grounded self-awareness that fundamentally changes how the public interacts with her legacy. She is telling the world that she refuses to let her life story be written as a series of romantic endings, choosing instead to present it as a continuous, empowering journey of personal evolution that is completely unbothered by corporate curation or societal expectations. Ultimately, this high-energy subway moment leaves the wider entertainment ecosystem watching with total fascination to see how this empowering, light-hearted public persona will influence the commercial trajectory of her new cinematic era. By demonstrating that she can command the global cultural conversation through a simple, unpolished conversation about the transformative power of heartbreak, Jennifer Lopez is actively setting a brand new template for how legacy stars can maintain absolute relevance without ever losing their dignity to the toxic cycles of tabloid speculation. As the viral loops of her breakup party philosophy continue to generate millions of impressions across the digital space, and her movie continues to climb the streaming charts, the image of her standing confident and smiling in the heart of the city remains a definitive triumph of authentic humanity over calculated image control. It leaves a deeply captivated public to realize that the most sustainable way to navigate the heavy, often blinding trials of a highly public life isn't to build a wall of silence around your disappointments, but to simply open the doors, turn up the music, and celebrate the endings as the brilliant, necessary beginnings they were always meant to be in the hyper-visible years to come.